A little beggar finds the millionaire's unlimited credit card. What she asks will shock you. Alara, a delicate sparrow of a girl with eyes that held the weight of 1,000 untold stories, was a child of the streets. San Francisco, with its bustling energy and vibrant culture, was her playground, her classroom, her battleground. At 10 years old, she navigated the city's labyrinthine alleyways and hidden corners with an uncanny familiarity, a silent observer of the human drama unfolding around her. Orphaned at a tender age, Alara had been raised by the city itself, its concrete canyons and whispering winds her only companions. She had learned to read the subtle cues of the urban landscape, the shifting patterns of light and shadow, the rhythm of footsteps on the pavement. She knew where to find shelter from the rain, where to scavenge for discarded treasures, where to find a moment of solace amidst the cacophony of city life. Alara wasn't your typical street urchin. She possessed a quiet dignity, a resilience that defied her circumstances. Her clothes, though patched and faded, were always clean, her hair neatly braided. She never begged, never pleaded for handouts. Instead, she offered a shy smile and a hand-drawn picture, a splash of color against the gray canvas of urban despair. Her drawings were remarkable, capturing the essence of the city and its people with a poignant beauty that often moved passers-by to spare a few coins. She sketched the towering skyscrapers, the bustling crowds, the homeless huddled in doorways, the street musicians filling the air with their melodies. Her art was a window into her soul, a reflection of her observations, her emotions, her dreams. Alara had a secret, a sanctuary amidst the chaos. Hidden beneath a crumbling overpass, she had created a haven, a small space adorned with discarded treasures she found on her daily expeditions. A faded tapestry, a cracked mirror, a collection of mismatched teacups. It was her home, her refuge, a testament to her indomitable spirit. Despite the harsh realities of her life, Alara retained a childlike wonder, a belief in the goodness of the world. She dreamed of a life beyond the streets, a life filled with warmth, security, and the simple joys of childhood. She clung to these dreams, her imagination a lifeline in the face of adversity. One crisp November morning, as the city awoke to a blanket of fog, Alara's life took an unexpected turn. While scavenging for discarded treasures near a bustling shopping district, she stumbled upon a wallet lying discarded near an overflowing bin. Curiosity piqued. She cautiously approached, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and apprehension. The wallet was sleek and black, crafted from fine leather that felt alien beneath Alara's roughened fingers. As she opened it, her breath caught in her throat. Inside, nestled amongst crisp bills and a platinum membership card to an exclusive club, was a credit card, its surface gleaming with an iridescent sheen. But it wasn't just any credit card. Embossed in elegant script were the words "Unlimited Access." Alara's mind reeled. She had seen people use credit cards in stores, swiping them with a casual ease that spoke of wealth and privilege. But this card, with its promise of unlimited access, seemed to hold a magical power, a key to a world beyond her comprehension. She could use the card to buy food, clothes, a warm bed for the night. She could escape the streets, the constant gnawing hunger, the bone-chilling cold that seeped into her very bones. She could finally have a real home, a place where she could feel safe, where she could be a child. But a voice, small yet persistent, whispered a warning in the back of her mind. This card didn't belong to her. It was someone else's, someone who had probably lost it and was desperately searching for it. Alara hesitated, torn between her own desperate needs and the desire to do the right thing. She thought of the pictures she drew, the stories they told of kindness and compassion. She couldn't betray the values she held dear, the values that had kept her spirit alive amidst the harsh realities of her life. She decided to return the wallet. But how? She couldn't just hand it over to anyone. She needed to find the owner, the person whose name was embossed on the credit card. Mr. Alexander Sterling. The name resonated with a faint familiarity. Alara had heard whispers of Alexander Sterling, a titan of industry, a philanthropist, a legend in the world of business. His face graced the covers of magazines, his name synonymous with wealth and success. He was a man who lived in a world far removed from Alera's, a world of luxury and privilege she could only imagine. But now, she held a piece of his world in her hands, a key to his fortune. And she, a little beggar girl with nothing to her name but her wits and her integrity, was determined to return it. Finding Alexander Sterling was no easy task for a child of the streets. Alera, armed with only her determination and the faint glimmer of hope, embarked on a quest that would take her to the heart of San Francisco's financial district. She spent days observing the towering skyscrapers, the bustling crowds of suited men and women, the sleek limousines gliding through the streets. She learned that Alexander Sterling was the CEO of Sterling Industries, a multinational corporation headquartered in one of the city's most prestigious buildings. She lingered near the entrance, hoping to catch a glimpse of him, but the security guards, with their stern expressions and watchful eyes, made it impossible to get close. One afternoon, while observing the comings and goings of the building's occupants, Alera overheard a conversation between two employees. They were discussing Mr. Sterling's upcoming charity gala, an exclusive event held annually to raise funds for underprivileged children. Alera's heart skipped a beat. This was her chance. She would attend the gala, approach Mr. Sterling, and return his wallet. It was a bold plan, a risky endeavor for a girl accustomed to the shadows. But Alera, armed with her unwavering determination and the belief that doing the right thing was always worth the risk, was not one to back down from a challenge. The prospect of attending a high society gala was daunting, even intimidating, for a girl who called the streets her home. But Alera, with her resourceful spirit and unwavering determination, set about preparing for the event. She carefully washed her only dress, a faded blue garment she had found discarded in a donation bin. She used scraps of fabric to mend the holes and tears, transforming it into a presentable, albeit humble, outfit. She also worked on a special drawing, a portrait of Mr. Sterling based on the pictures she had seen in magazines. She poured her heart into the drawing, capturing not just his physical features, but also the aura of power and authority that surrounded him. She hoped it would convey her gratitude and her admiration for the man who, unknowingly, had given her a glimmer of hope. The night of the gala arrived, and Alera, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and apprehension, made her way to the grand ballroom. She had slipped past the security guards, her small size and unassuming appearance allowing her to blend into the crowd of elegantly dressed guests. The ballroom was a spectacle of opulence, a world of shimmering chandeliers, flowing champagne, and dazzling gowns. Alera, feeling like Alice stepping into Wonderland, navigated the crowd, her eyes wide with wonder. She spotted Mr. Sterling, holding court near the stage, surrounded by admirers. He was even more imposing in person, his presence commanding attention. Alera hesitated, intimidated by his aura of power and authority. But she remembered the wallet, the credit card with its promise of unlimited access. She remembered the pictures she drew, the stories they told of kindness and compassion. She couldn't back down now. Gathering her courage, she approached Mr. Sterling, her small hand clutching the drawing. As she neared him, she felt a tap on her shoulder. A security guard, his expression stern, blocked her path. "Little girl, you're not supposed to be here," he said, his voice gruff. "This is a private event." Alera's heart sank. She tried to explain, to tell him about the wallet, but the guard remained unconvinced. He was about to escort her out of the ballroom when Mr. Sterling noticed the commotion. "What's going on here?" he asked, his voice commanding attention. The guard explained the situation, pointing to Alera. Mr. Sterling, his brow furrowed, turned his gaze to the little girl standing before him, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and determination. "What do you want, child?" he asked, his voice surprisingly gentle. Alera, her eyes filled with tears, held up the drawing. "I found your wallet, Mr. Sterling," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "I wanted to return it." A hush fell over the crowd as Mr. Sterling took the drawing from Alera's trembling hand. He studied it for a moment, his expression softening. Then his eyes widened in recognition. "This is me," he said, his voice filled with surprise. "You drew this?" Alara nodded shyly. Mr. Sterling, his gaze returning to the drawing, was struck by its beauty, its poignant portrayal of a man who, despite his wealth and success, seemed to carry a burden of loneliness. He saw a vulnerability in the eyes of his portrait, a hint of sadness that he himself often felt but rarely acknowledged. He looked at Alara, his heart touched by her kindness and her extraordinary artistic talent. He realized that this little girl, who had nothing, had given him something far more valuable than a wallet. A reminder of his own humanity, a connection to a world he had long forgotten. He knelt down before Alara, his eyes level with hers. "Thank you," he said sincerely. "You did the right thing." He then turned to the security guard, his voice regaining its authority. "This young lady is my guest," he announced. "Please escort her to a table and make sure she's taken care of." The guard, his expression shifting from suspicion to deference, complied, leading Alara to a vacant table near the stage. The crowd, which had been observing the scene with a mixture of curiosity and amusement, erupted in applause. Alara, overwhelmed by the sudden attention, sat at the table, her heart still pounding. A waiter approached, his demeanor a stark contrast to the security guard's earlier hostility. He presented Alara with a menu, his smile genuine, his eyes filled with kindness. Alara, overwhelmed by the array of unfamiliar dishes with their French names and exotic descriptions, simply shook her head. She wasn't hungry. She was still reeling from the encounter with Mr. Sterling, the sudden shift in her fortunes. She felt like Cinderella at the ball, a world away from her usual reality of scavenging for scraps and seeking shelter from the cold. Mr. Sterling, after retrieving his wallet and thanking Alara profusely, returned to his guests, but his thoughts kept returning to the little girl with the soulful eyes and the extraordinary talent. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was meant to do more for her, that their encounter was not merely a coincidence. He made discreet inquiries, learning about Alara's background, her life on the streets, her resilience in the face of adversity. He was moved by her story, her spirit, her unwavering belief in the goodness of the world, a belief he himself had almost lost touch with. He decided to help her, to offer her a chance at a better life, a chance to nurture her talent and fulfill her potential. Mr. Sterling, a man of action, didn't hesitate. He approached Alara's table, his presence causing a ripple of excitement amongst the nearby guests. He sat beside her, his demeanor gentle, his eyes filled with warmth. "Alara," he began, "I want to thank you again for returning my wallet, but I also want to offer you something more." Alara looked at him, her eyes wide with surprise. She couldn't fathom what this powerful, wealthy man could possibly offer her. A girl who had nothing. "I've learned a bit about you, Mr. Sterling continued, and I'm impressed by your spirit, your resilience, your talent. I want to help you, Alara. I want to give you a chance at a better life." Alara's heart pounded. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Was this a dream? Was this man, this titan of industry, truly offering to help her? Mr. Sterling outlined his plan. He would arrange for Alara to be placed in a loving foster home, where she would receive the care and support she needed. He would ensure she received a good education, that she had access to opportunities she could only dream of. He would provide her with the resources to nurture her artistic talent, to help her reach her full potential. Alara listened, her eyes filled with tears of gratitude. She had never dared to hope for such a future. She had always believed that the streets were her destiny, that she would forever be an outsider, a forgotten child. But now, a door had opened, a path to a different life. And she, with a heart full of hope and a spirit strengthened by years of hardship, was ready to walk through it. Mr. Sterling, true to his word, set his plan in motion. He used his influence and resources to expedite the process, ensuring that Alara was placed with a kind and caring couple, the Millers, who welcomed her into their home with open arms. The Millers, a middle-aged couple with a warm and nurturing demeanor, had always wanted children but had been unable to have any of their own. They embraced Alara as their own, providing her with the love, stability, and support she had longed for. He enrolled her in a prestigious private school, where she excelled in her studies, her artistic talent blossoming under the guidance of supportive teachers. Alara, who had never known the structure of a classroom or the encouragement of educators, thrived in this new environment. She soaked up knowledge like a sponge, her natural curiosity and intelligence shining through. Mr. Sterling also became a mentor to Alara, a father figure she had never had. He visited her regularly, offering guidance, encouragement, and unwavering support. He nurtured her dreams, helping her to believe in herself and her potential. He took her to museums and art galleries, exposing her to the world of art and culture. He introduced her to influential people in the art world, opening doors that would have otherwise remained closed to a girl from her background. Alara, in turn, brought joy and laughter into Mr. Sterling's life. She reminded him of the simple pleasures, the importance of kindness and compassion. She helped him to reconnect with his own humanity, to rediscover the childlike wonder he had lost amidst the pressures of his success. She challenged his assumptions, broadened his perspectives, and reminded him of the beauty and resilience of the human spirit. Their relationship, born from an unlikely encounter, blossomed into a deep and abiding bond. They were family, connected by a shared experience, a mutual respect, and a love that transcended their differences. Mr. Sterling, who had once been consumed by his work and his pursuit of wealth, found a new sense of purpose in mentoring Alara, in witnessing her growth and development. However, this newfound relationship and the changes it brought to Mr. Sterling's life were not without consequences. His colleagues and business associates, accustomed to his single-minded focus on work, were surprised by his sudden interest in a young girl from the streets. Some questioned his motives, whispering rumors of impropriety and exploitation. Others saw it as a distraction, a sign that he was losing his edge, his focus on the bottom line. Mr. Sterling, though initially dismissive of these criticisms, found himself increasingly isolated from his peers. He realized that his values had shifted, his priorities realigned. He no longer measured success solely in terms of profits and acquisitions. He valued human connection, compassion, and the opportunity to make a positive impact on the world. This shift in perspective led to conflicts with his business partners, who saw his newfound focus on philanthropy and social responsibility as a threat to their financial interests. They questioned his decisions, challenged his authority, and even threatened to oust him from the company he had built. Mr. Sterling, faced with this opposition, had to make a choice. Would he succumb to the pressure, revert to his old ways, and prioritize profit over people? Or would he stand by his convictions, defend his relationship with Alara, and risk losing everything he had worked for? While Mr. Sterling grappled with the consequences of his decision to help Alara, the city of San Francisco was experiencing a surge in homelessness, particularly amongst children. The economic downturn had hit the city hard, leaving many families struggling to make ends meet. Social services were overwhelmed, shelters were overflowing, and the streets were filled with children like Alara, forgotten and vulnerable. This crisis caught the attention of the media, sparking a public debate about the city's responsibility to its most vulnerable citizens. Politicians debated solutions, activists organized protests, and philanthropists pledged donations. But the problem persisted, a stark reminder of the deep-seated inequalities that plagued society. Mr. Sterling, deeply affected by Alara's story and the growing crisis on the streets, felt compelled to act. He decided to use his wealth and influence to make a difference, to address the root causes of homelessness and provide support to those in need. He established a foundation dedicated to helping homeless children, providing them with shelter, education, and opportunities to break the cycle of poverty. He funded after-school programs, job training initiatives, and affordable housing projects. He partnered with community organizations, leveraging their expertise and resources to maximize the impact of his philanthropy. He also became a vocal advocate for social justice, speaking out against the policies that perpetuated poverty and inequality. He challenged the city's leaders to prioritize the needs of its most vulnerable citizens, to invest in education and social services, and to create a more equitable society. His activism drew both praise and criticism. He was hailed as a hero, a visionary, a champion of the poor. But he was also attacked, labeled a hypocrite, a publicity seeker, a man trying to buy his way into heaven. Mr. Sterling, though undeterred by the criticism, realized that the fight for social justice was a long and arduous one. He knew that he couldn't solve the problem of homelessness alone, but he was determined to do his part, to use his privilege to create opportunities for those less fortunate. His efforts extended beyond financial contributions. He became a mentor to young people in his foundation's programs, sharing his experiences and offering guidance. He visited shelters and soup kitchens, talking to the homeless, listening to their stories, and offering words of encouragement. He also used his influence to advocate for policy changes, lobbying for increased funding for affordable housing, mental health services, and job training programs. He challenged the city's leaders to address the root causes of homelessness, to invest in prevention and early intervention programs, and to create a more equitable society where everyone had the opportunity to thrive. His activism brought him into contact with a diverse group of people, from social workers and community organizers to politicians and business leaders. He learned about the complexities of the issue, the systemic barriers that perpetuated poverty and homelessness, the challenges faced by those on the margins of society. He also encountered resistance, both from those who benefited from the status quo and from those who believed that the homeless were solely responsible for their own plight. He faced criticism, accusations of naivete and self-interest, but he persevered, driven by his compassion for those in need and his belief in the possibility of a better world. As Alara blossomed in her new environment, her relationship with Mr. Sterling deepened. Their weekly visits became a cherished ritual, a time for sharing stories, discussing dreams, and exploring the world of art and culture. Mr. Sterling, who had once been a solitary figure, found himself drawn to Alara's vibrant spirit and infectious laughter. He delighted in her intellectual curiosity, her passion for learning, her unwavering optimism. He saw in her a reflection of the child he had once been, a child filled with wonder and a thirst for knowledge. Alara, in turn, found in Mr. Sterling a father figure she had never had, a source of wisdom, guidance, and unconditional love. She admired his intelligence, his determination, his commitment to making a difference in the world. She cherished their conversations, the way he challenged her to think critically, to question assumptions, to explore different perspectives. Their bond extended beyond their shared love of art and learning. They found common ground in their compassion for others, their desire to make a positive impact on the world. They discussed social issues, debated solutions, and dreamed of a future where everyone had the opportunity to thrive. Mr. Sterling, inspired by Alara's passion for social justice, became more involved in her advocacy efforts. He accompanied her to community events, introduced her to influential people in his network, and provided financial support for her initiatives. He also encouraged her to pursue her own dreams, to use her artistic talent to express her unique vision and to inspire others. He funded her art classes, provided her with a studio space, and connected her with gallery owners and art critics. Their relationship, though unconventional, was a source of strength and support for both of them. They found in each other a kindred spirit, a confidant, a partner in their shared journey to make the world a better place. However, their close bond also attracted scrutiny and gossip. Some questioned Mr. Sterling's motives, suggesting that he was exploiting Alara for his own gain. Others whispered about an inappropriate relationship, their imaginations fueled by the age difference and the unconventional nature of their connection. Alara, though hurt by the rumors, refused to let them tarnish her relationship with Mr. Sterling. She knew the truth, the purity of their bond, the genuine affection and respect they shared. Mr. Sterling, too, was angered by the gossip, but he understood that their relationship defied societal norms. He knew that their connection was special, unique, and ultimately unbreakable. He vowed to protect Alara from the negativity, to shield her from the prying eyes and malicious tongues. He became more cautious in their public interactions, aware of the potential for misinterpretation. He also made a conscious effort to involve Alara's foster parents in their activities, ensuring that their relationship remained transparent and above reproach. Despite the challenges, their bond remained strong, a testament to the power of human connection to transcend societal expectations and overcome adversity. As Alara approached her high school graduation, Mr. Sterling decided to organize a special celebration, a coming-of-age party to mark her transition to adulthood. He invited Alara's friends, teachers, foster parents, and a few close associates. He wanted to celebrate her achievements, her resilience, her transformation from a street urchin to a confident young woman with a bright future ahead of her. The party was held at Mr. Sterling's lavish mansion, a world away from the streets where Alara had spent her early childhood. The gardens were adorned with twinkling lights, the ballroom filled with music and laughter. Alara, dressed in a beautiful gown, felt like a princess in a fairy tale. Mr. Sterling, beaming with pride, gave a heartfelt speech, praising Alara's intelligence, compassion, and artistic talent. He spoke of their unique bond, the lessons they had learned from each other, the impact she had had on his life. Alara, touched by his words, responded with a speech of her own, expressing her gratitude for his support, guidance, and unwavering belief in her. She spoke of her dreams for the future, her desire to use her education and her art to make a difference in the world. The guests, moved by their speeches and the obvious affection between them, applauded enthusiastically. Alara, surrounded by her loved ones, felt a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, a sense of hope for the future. However, the festive atmosphere was shattered when a group of uninvited guests arrived. They were reporters, photographers, and videographers, alerted to the event by an anonymous tip. They barged into the party, cameras flashing, microphones thrust in Alara's and Mr. Sterling's faces. They bombarded them with questions, their tone accusatory, their intentions malicious. They questioned Mr. Sterling's motives, insinuated an inappropriate relationship, and painted Alara as a manipulative opportunist. Alara, overwhelmed by the sudden intrusion and the barrage of accusations, felt her world crumble around her. The joy and celebration evaporated, replaced by fear, confusion, and a deep sense of betrayal. Mr. Sterling, enraged by the invasion of privacy and the slanderous accusations, tried to shield Alara from the media frenzy. He ordered the reporters to leave, but they refused, their cameras capturing every moment of the unfolding drama. The party descended into chaos, the guests scattering, the music silenced, the festive decorations now mocking the somber mood. Alara, feeling exposed and vulnerable, fled the ballroom, seeking refuge in the quiet solitude of the gardens. Mr. Sterling, his anger simmering, confronted the reporters, demanding they leave his property. But they were relentless, their hunger for a sensational story outweighing any sense of decency or respect. The situation escalated, the reporters refusing to back down, Mr. Sterling's frustration mounting. Just as he was about to lose his temper, Alara reappeared, her eyes filled with a newfound determination. She stepped in front of the cameras, her voice clear and steady. She addressed the reporters, refuting their accusations, defending her relationship with Mr. Sterling, and asserting her own agency. She spoke of the kindness and support Mr. Sterling had shown her, the opportunities he had provided, the transformative impact he had had on her life. She spoke of her own dreams, her aspirations, her commitment to using her education and her art to make a difference in the world. Her words, filled with passion and conviction, silenced the reporters. They lowered their cameras, their faces etched with a mixture of shame and admiration. They had come seeking a scandalous story, but they had found something far more profound. A testament to the power of human connection, the resilience of the human spirit, and the triumph of love over adversity. The media frenzy surrounding the party eventually subsided, but the incident left a lasting impact on Alara and Mr. Sterling. They had been thrust into the public eye, their relationship dissected and scrutinized, their motives questioned. Alara, though shaken by the experience, emerged stronger and more determined. She realized that her story, though twisted and sensationalized by the media, had the potential to inspire others. She decided to use her platform to advocate for change, to speak out against injustice, and to promote understanding and compassion. She gave interviews, sharing her experiences and her perspective on the challenges faced by homeless youth. She spoke at schools and community events, inspiring young people to overcome adversity and pursue their dreams. She became a voice for the voiceless, a champion for those who had been marginalized and forgotten. Mr. Sterling, though angered by the media's intrusion and the damage it had caused, supported Alara's decision to speak out. He used his influence and resources to amplify her voice, connecting her with journalists, activists, and policymakers. He also continued to support her education and artistic development, providing her with the resources and opportunities she needed to thrive. He encouraged her to pursue her passion for social justice, to use her art to raise awareness and to inspire change. Together, they formed a formidable partnership, their combined efforts amplifying their impact on the community. Mr. Sterling's financial resources and influence, coupled with Alara's passion and grassroots connections, allowed them to tackle issues from multiple angles. They funded scholarships for underprivileged students, supported community art programs, and lobbied for policies that addressed the root causes of poverty and inequality. Their activism brought them into contact with a diverse network of individuals and organizations, from social workers and educators to artists and entrepreneurs. They fostered collaborations, built bridges between different communities, and created a sense of shared purpose. Their efforts were not without challenges. They faced opposition from those who resisted change, who clung to their prejudices and privileges. They encountered setbacks and disappointments, moments when the enormity of the problems they were tackling seemed overwhelming. But they persevered, fueled by their shared belief in the power of human connection and the possibility of a better world. They drew strength from each other, their bond deepening with every challenge they faced, every victory they achieved. As Alara approached her college graduation, she found herself at a crossroads. She had excelled in her studies, earning a degree in fine arts with a minor in social justice. She had established herself as a talented artist, her work exhibited in galleries and museums across the country. She had also become a respected advocate for social change, her voice heard in the halls of power and the streets of her community. But she felt a pull in two different directions. On one hand, she yearned to pursue her artistic passion, to dedicate herself to creating beauty and expressing her unique vision. On the other hand, she felt a deep sense of responsibility to use her platform to advocate for others, to fight for justice and equality, to make a tangible difference in the world. She sought Mr. Sterling's advice, sharing her conflicting desires and seeking his wisdom. Mr. Sterling, who had witnessed her growth and development over the years, understood her dilemma. He encouraged her to follow her heart, to pursue both her artistic and her advocacy passions, to find a way to integrate them into a fulfilling and impactful life. Inspired by his words, Alara decided to pursue a dual path. She continued to create art, her work reflecting her social consciousness and her commitment to justice. She also enrolled in a graduate program in social work, her studies focusing on child welfare and community development. She envisioned a future where she could use her art to raise awareness about social issues, to inspire empathy and understanding, to spark conversations and catalyze change. She also saw herself working directly with communities, empowering individuals, and advocating for policies that promoted social justice and equality. This new direction brought new challenges and opportunities. Alara had to balance her artistic pursuits with her academic studies and her community involvement. She had to learn to navigate the complex world of social work, to understand the systemic barriers that perpetuated poverty and inequality, to develop the skills and knowledge necessary to effect meaningful change. She also had to confront her own limitations, her own biases and privileges. She had to learn to listen to the voices of those she sought to serve, to understand their experiences and perspectives, to build relationships based on trust and mutual respect. Mr. Sterling, though aging, remained a constant source of support and guidance. He encouraged her to pursue her dreams, to challenge herself, to never give up on her vision for a better world. He also provided her with the resources and connections she needed to succeed, opening doors that would have otherwise remained closed. Their relationship continued to evolve, their bond deepening with each passing year. They were more than just mentor and mentee. They were family, bound by a shared history, a mutual respect, and a deep affection. Alara, once a forgotten child living on the streets, had blossomed into a confident and compassionate young woman. She had overcome adversity, embraced her talents, and found her purpose in life. She had become an artist, an advocate, a leader, a beacon of hope. She reflected on her journey, the twists and turns that had led her to this point. She marveled at the resilience of the human spirit, her own included. She had faced challenges that would have broken many, yet she had emerged stronger, more determined, more compassionate. She recognized the pivotal role that Mr. Sterling had played in her life. He had not only rescued her from the streets, but had also nurtured her talents, guided her development, and instilled in her a belief in her own potential. He had been a father figure, a mentor, a friend, a confidant. She also acknowledged the contributions of her foster parents, the Millers, who had welcomed her into their home and provided her with the love and stability she had craved. They had shown her the meaning of family, the power of unconditional love, the importance of belonging. She was grateful for the teachers who had inspired her, the friends who had supported her, the community that had embraced her. She understood that her success was not just her own. It was a testament to the collective effort of those who had believed in her, who had invested in her, who had helped her to find her voice and her place in the world. She also recognized the importance of her own agency, her own choices, her own determination. She had not been a passive recipient of others' kindness. She had actively shaped her own destiny, seizing opportunities, overcoming obstacles, and pursuing her dreams with unwavering passion. She reflected on the lessons she had learned, the values she had embraced. She had learned the importance of compassion, the power of empathy, the transformative potential of human connection. She had learned to appreciate the beauty in diversity, the strength in vulnerability, the resilience of the human spirit. She had also learned the importance of giving back, of using her privilege to advocate for others, to inspire hope, to create a more just and equitable world. She understood that her journey was not just about her own personal growth and fulfillment. It was about contributing to something larger than herself, about making a positive impact on the world. She thought of the little girl she once was, the girl with the soulful eyes and the hand-drawn pictures. She saw in that girl a spark of resilience, a glimmer of hope, a seed of potential. She realized that she had never truly lost that girl. She had simply grown, evolved, embraced her full potential. She was proud of the woman she had become, the woman who had found her voice, her purpose, her place in the world. She was an artist, an advocate, a leader, a beacon of hope, and she was just getting started. Alara's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the transformative power of kindness, and the importance of believing in oneself. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope, that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact on the world. It is a story that celebrates the power of human connection, the importance of mentorship, and the enduring nature of love and friendship. It reminds us that we are all interconnected, that our actions have ripple effects, and that we have the power to create a better world for ourselves and for future generations. Alara's story is a call to action, an invitation to embrace our shared humanity, to extend a helping hand to those in need, and to believe in the possibility of a brighter future. It is a story that inspires us to dream big, to act with compassion, and to never give up on ourselves or on the world. It is a story that challenges us to confront our own biases, to question our assumptions, and to work towards a society where everyone feels safe, valued, and respected. It reminds us that we all have a role to play in creating a more just and equitable world, regardless of our background or social status. Alara's story is a story of hope, a story of transformation, a story of the enduring power of the human spirit. It is a story that reminds us that even a little beggar can make a difference, that even a millionaire can find redemption, and that together, we can create a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. It is a story that celebrates the beauty in diversity, the strength in vulnerability, and the resilience of the human spirit. It is a story that inspires us to believe in the possibility of a better world, a world where kindness, compassion, and justice prevail.